Rooftop Renegade is a fast-paced side-scroller where speed and precision are crucial for good results, with a high replay value and a balanced difficulty curve. This is a game that can challenge many who want to test their reaction skills, but the question is whether it delivers on all levels. The game is available in Nintendo's eShop from February 17th, and in this review we check out how the game is experienced on the Nintendo Switch. Let's start with what this game is about. Yeah, there is actually a narrative that sets the tone, but that's basically what we get story-wise. After a short introduction that introduces our hero, we understand that an evil corporation is taking over the world. Now a girl named Svetlana has to put an end to it all, with the help of her rollerblades. I'm actually a bit confused. I played through what I think is the entire game, but apart from the intro, nothing else seems to happen. At least there are no spectacular cutscenes or anything like that. The feeling is that this is all about the gameplay. In this futuristic world, the goal is to get through two-dimensional courses as quickly as possible. A meter in the upper edge of the image reveals how far you have reached on the current course, and it's important not to slack off. If you stop, you will be caught and have to start over. There are no pitfalls, but there are plenty of obstacles along the way. For example, glowing speed bumps and barriers. The courses are often designed with different tracks, and there is a bit of trial and error going on here. Of course, some roads are better than others, especially when it comes to getting up to speed, and you may have to run through a course several times to find the optimal path. In addition, you can't compete against yourself. The green glowing figure is your previous best time and gives an indication of whether you can beat your record. After a while, your opponents become visible in the front edge of the image. They do everything to slow you down by blasting platforms and such, but you can damage them by activating special platforms. In this way, the enemy becomes paralyzed and cannot destroy the surroundings. I found the enemies really annoying. This is because the game is about getting a flow, being able to ride at high level speed without being stopped. But that is also part of the challenge, to manage to avoid all obstacles and reach the goal as quickly as possible. The game also offers the possibility to play two players, but when the first player runs around the track, the other must try to shoot one down. So you play as the enemy, a pretty fun feature actually. There is a certain amount of progression in the game, namely that you can level up and unlock new abilities. For example, that you can make high jumps, flash through solid objects, or that you can become immortal for a short time. I don't think the abilities feel revolutionary in any way, although they can be very useful. Perhaps the most important feature is the ability to use a boost, which means that you accelerate for a short time. Just like the other abilities, it has a cooldown that you have to keep an eye on. After it has been restored, you should try to use it again as soon as the right situation arises. If used correctly, a fairly high speed can be achieved. We are not talking about Sonic speed, but at least a relatively high speed. If we talk about the visuals, I think the developers have created environments that are both rich in contrast and nice to look at. The futuristic environments are well detailed, whether you're running on night tracks or up in the clouds, and the animations blend well with the rest. What I perceived as problematic is the frame rate. From my tests, it seemed like the goal is to hit 60 FPS. Which is rarely done. Most often it oscillates between 45 and 55, which can be problematic when we're talking about a game that requires quick decisions. Despite that, I managed to get relatively good time results, but the frame rate can be seen more as an annoyance than something that spoils the experience. The control basically works as intended. It's responsive regardless of whether you move sideways or use one of the special abilities. What felt odd, however, was that one's basic jump was quite low, and one is dependent on the special jump to be able to get to distant platforms. The special jump is affected by a cooldown, just like other unique abilities, so sometimes you miss important platforms due to the ability not being available. But this again shows the importance of knowing how the courses are designed, and also when a special ability is to be used or saved for an important occasion. Rooftop Renegade is a relatively short game, but offers a few alternative ways to play. Although it only contains 24 relatively short courses, it's possible to play up to 2 players, or you can try generator mode, where levels are randomly generated. Overall, this indie game is a well-rounded experience that possibly has a slightly too high price tag. It costs $17 at the moment. but at least you get an easy two-dimensional game that tests your abilities, especially if you want to get the best times and results. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I review new games every week. Have a nice day. See ya!